Hi, I'm Upwards, and welcome to another day in the life with me, and today with the iPhone SE 2020.
You've been on my way since day one. I wait every day since summer. Babe, the only thing in me is sin. Only thing regretting is losing you. I'd rather be since day one. I did it all not too.
Alright, so let's talk about why the iPhone SE 2020 edition in 2024. Well, actually, this is one of the most requested phones I've ever gotten. On pretty much every single video, there's at least one person asking for this particular device. Shout out to Insane Vloggers for posting a comment about doing the iPhone SE 2020 in pretty much every single video that I've posted so far. So what's special about the iPhone SE 2020 is that it is the most cheapest and smallest iPhone that Apple currently supports today. Yes, that's right. This iPhone SE is still running iOS 18. So from a value perspective, this automatically makes it a very interesting proposition because who doesn't want the cheapest and smallest iPhone that is still supported? A lot of people are actually looking for those benefits, but I have a few reservations about this phone. In particular, this has the same design from the iPhone 8, and as some of you may know, the battery life on here has been reported to be horrendous. But that's what we're going to be testing out in today's Day in the Life. We're going to be testing out the display, the performance, the cameras, and most importantly, that battery life to see how well this thing actually does in 2024. Currently it's 9:45. Our battery percentage is already at 85%. I took this phone off the charger at around 8:30. And we also only have a battery health of 83%. So this is going to be a good indicator for some of you who are thinking of buying this phone secondhand. All right, let's get into this Day in the Life. First up for the day for me is that I have a student advisor meeting, sort out my next year courses, so I'm gonna head over to that now. Okay, so wrapped up the meeting. It was pretty short, but I managed to get everything all sorted for next year, and I don't have to do any more extra papers to finish my degree. So I'll be able to finish my degree by next year, so I'm pretty happy about that. But I'm gonna check all my courses and make sure I get them all locked in for next year. Okay, so I'm gonna head over to the other campus. Okay, so I made it to the other campus and it's currently 10:37. Our battery percentage is at 67%. This thing is draining pretty quickly. But before we continue, let's talk about the display on the iPhone SE. So the iPhone SE is equipped with the exact same display as the iPhone 8, which was a 4.7-inch LCD panel with 60 Hz. Now, if you guys think that this display is good, you guys are wrong, because I think that this display really handicaps this phone. The display on here is nothing special at all, and compared to other phones that were released at this time or any phones that you could get around this price on the second-hand market, you can get far better with OLED, at least 90 Hz refresh rates, much bigger display, and no chin and forehead like the iPhone SE. Because right here we're rocking 625 nits peak brightness, pretty small display, and the only thing that's really going for the iPhone SE is that it has True Tone and it's pretty color accurate. But other than that, I really think that this display here is not good at all. And also, if you're talking about resolution, it's not even HD, which is pretty bad. So overall, this display does deserve a C- grade. Okay, I'm gonna go lock in, get some assignments out of the way before it's due this Friday. Test. Cool, alright, so it's currently 12:23. Our battery percentage is at 39%, which is not doing very well. But let's talk about the performance on the iPhone SE 2020. So the iPhone SE 2020 is equipped with the A13 Bionic chip, same chipset that was used inside the iPhone 11. And it's actually a pretty powerful chipset. The iPhone 11 still runs really well, even in 2024. And the same can go for this phone. However, there is one caveat, which is that this phone only comes with 3 GB of RAM, and that is a very limiting factor on this device. So far, using the phone has been pretty snappy and quick, but if you do go back to an app that you haven't used in a while, it's going to reload. Most of the apps do reload if you haven't used them in a while, and sometimes you can feel that the phone lags a little bit here and there due to probably that 3GB of RAM. I would say that in 2024, 3GB of RAM is just not enough to cut it, and you can really feel that the phone is struggling under load if you're switching constantly between different apps. But so far, it does launch apps really quick, and you can actually game on Genshin Impact with up to medium 60 FPS, and that can run it pretty smoothly. However, it does overheat a little bit. You can feel the phone getting pretty warm pretty quickly, especially when you push it. And because this phone has such a small battery, I feel like a lot of these things are gonna push this phone to its limits and reduce the battery life, which we can see already. But so far, if you're doing pretty light tasks and you're just going on social media, this thing can handle it without any issues. Okay, I'm gonna go and grab some lunch, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
Hi guys, this is Lance. I think I've been in one of your videos before. Yeah, this guy was in my last iPhone SE video. Look at him now. In my other another iPhone SE video. That's crazy. And then this is his phone. It's got an S-Ray Pro Ultra. Plus I should take the case off. Just can flex it on my iPhone SE. It's got a bit of dust on it, but it's okay. Bro is flexing on my iPhone SE. Look at this, look at this. Tiny. That's crazy. So I've been using my phone sporadically throughout the day, and at 2:26 we just hit the low battery warning, now at 20%. So I'm not sure how long it's gonna last, but hopefully we can still cover how the cameras and the features work on the iPhone SE 2020 before we run out of battery. But first I still have to study. Okay, so it's currently 2:56. Our battery percentage is at 16%. And now I want to go out and meet up with my friend. We're going to take some photos with the iPhone SE and see how they turned out in 2024. We have a 12 megapixel main camera and a 7 megapixel selfie camera. There's not much to work with, but let's see how they turn out. Okay, I'm here with Ami, and we're going to be taking some photos. She's been modeling for a few of my videos, so shout out to Ami. And let's see how this iPhone takes some photos. The iPhone SE is using the same cameras from the iPhone 8, but what makes it special is the processing, which has been improved due to the more powerful chipset. The main camera takes some really nice photos. The sharpness, colors, and detail are all clear and vibrant. Dynamic range is also on point, with nice highlights and shadows. The camera balances skin tones and colors very well, and photos look great. However, there is no night mode on this camera, and we can only shoot from one angle, which is quite limiting. We also have a 7 megapixel selfie camera, which is decent at best, but not that great. Now video-wise, we can shoot up to 4K 60 FPS, and there is some stabilization, but it's not optical, so it's alright, but not the best. And dynamic range, there's a little test for the dynamic range. Altogether, the main camera shoots some really nice images in good lighting, with great detail and dynamic range. The video capabilities are also a standout on this phone with up to 4K 60. However, there is only one back camera, and the selfie camera is stuck at 7 megapixels. There isn't any night mode or any other interesting features on the cameras here, so altogether, I give the iPhone SE 2020's cameras a B grade. So it's 3:19 and we just hit 10% battery left, which is pretty concerning. And actually kind of good though, because it means that I'm not going to use this phone and I'm going to actually work on my assignment. So I want to talk to you guys later when I finish my assignment, and we'll talk about the features on this phone. Alright, so it's currently 3:52, battery percentage is at 2%, so before this phone dies, let's talk about the features and design of the iPhone SE 2020 edition. So the iPhone SE's design is, well, the same as the iPhone 8, which is the same as the iPhone 7, minus the glass and the aluminium. So overall, I mean, it's a nice and simple design, but the front bezels are atrocious in 2024. But for some people, they might like it, that's totally up to you, but personally, I think this is a really old design. Now, talking about the actual features, we have IP67 water and dust resistance, so you can go up to 1 meter for half an hour in water, which is pretty nice. You also do get wireless charging, which is quite a nice novelty for phones at this price. You also do get iOS 18. This is probably the last year that this phone is going to get any proper updates. From now on, I don't think this phone will get any more updates after iOS 18. So this is probably going to be the last year of its full support. The only other real feature on the iPhone SE is that it has a fingerprint scanner on the front. And other than that, there's not really anything special.
does have stereo speakers, which is nice. Speakers are pretty decent for a phone of this size. You're not really getting too much for this phone. So unless you're really into iOS and iPhones and you really want to get that latest support, then I guess this phone might be justifiable. But overall, I give this like a B for its features and design. Alright, I'm gonna try to stay off this phone for as long as possible so that we can try last a little bit longer with this phone, and I'm gonna try and finish up my assignment. Okay, so it is now 5:05 and our battery percentage is at 1%. So I'm gonna call this as the end of my day in the life with the iPhone SE 2020. So let's take a look at the battery performance and see how it did. So looking at the battery performance, we've gotten about 2 hours and 50 minutes of screen on time, and we are at 1%. So overall, pretty bad. But keep in mind, this has a battery health of 83%. So if you can find an iPhone SE with a better battery health, maybe around 90%, you could probably expect a longer screen on time than what I've experienced here. But let's talk about the phone in general. So starting off with the display, well, it's not very great. And with a 4.7-inch LCD display, it really is a poor performer in 2024. Performance-wise, it's a different story. It can handle pretty much any modern app today, but the 3GB of RAM is quite limiting. Cameras-wise, they actually do shoot some pretty nice photos. But again, you only have one main 12MP camera and a 7MP selfie camera, which is not that much in 2024. On the feature side, at least you do get iOS 18, which is probably going to be the last OS for this phone here. It has IP67 resistance, stereo speakers, along with wireless charging, if that matters to you. And finding the battery life, well, it's not that great. So wrapping up our calculations for this phone gets an overall grade of 64 or a C verging on a C+. So that has been my day in the life with the iPhone SE 2020. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.